A proposal addressing the migrant crisis taking place at the southern Mexico border may be at a standstill until after this year's presidential election. Frontrunner of the Republican Party, former President Donald Trump, is urging Republicans to rethink their current strategy to border negotiations. Political reporter Darielle Fair is with us now with more on the status of those talks and how lawmakers in Congress are responding.
After weeks of discussions, the White House and Senate negotiators have still not reached a compromise on a border policy agreement. Former President Donald Trump may have put an end to those negotiations as he is now calling on Republicans to reject any proposal that does not include all of the GOP's demands. Trump argues that a border deal reached with support from Democrats would give the opposing side a political advantage. Republican leaders are continuing to push for changes like further restrictions to asylum laws and humanitarian parole. They will now have to gauge which members of the GOP caucus are likely to shift their support for the deal now that Trump plans to make border security the central focus of his campaign ahead of the 2024 presidential election. Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill were not in favor of the idea, arguing the migrant crisis was not an issue that should be postponed.
I don't doubt that he wants a perfect deal, so do I on it. But we've got to be able to figure out how to be able to do something right now.
I just reject the idea that we should reserve a crisis for a better time to solve it.
A spokesperson for Republican Senator Ron Johnson's office said in a post on X that attacks on border policy should not be targeted at Trump, going on to say that the current deal Democrats are in favor of does not actually secure the border. Senate Republicans have an even greater challenge of getting the legislation through the House. House Speaker Mike Johnson has already warned that the border deal is dead on arrival in his chamber. This comes as House Republicans are moving aggressively to impeach Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. Earlier today, Speaker Johnson said the House will move forward with a vote as soon as possible. Next week, the Homeland Security Committee will formally advance articles of impeachment against Mayorkas to the committee floor.